He said he loved you, but just a few weeks in, everything started revolving around him, and your feelings quietly disappeared from the table. This isn't love. It's the opening act of a narcissistic relationship. In the early stages of a relationship with someone who shows narcissistic traits, everything often feels like a romantic movie. They don't just show up, they sweep in like fate itself. You're quickly overwhelmed by flattering compliments, perfectly timed gestures, and a level of attention that feels almost too good to be true. At this stage, the typical psychological tactic they use is called idealization, where they make you feel like the only person in the world they've ever truly loved. Narcissists are often master observers and emotional mimics. They know exactly what you're looking for in a relationship. They read your emotional needs and then morph into that ideal version. Many call this phase love bombing, an intense flood of affection that makes you feel validated, seen, and safe. But it's exactly this over-the-top perfection that should raise red flags. While you're thinking, I'm so lucky to have found someone that's amazing, they're quietly establishing emotional control, turning you into someone who depends on their approval. The most dangerous part? All the warning signs usually get dismissed by your own logic, because you believe you found the one. One of the simplest, yet most powerful, ways to spot a narcissistic partner is this. Try slowing the relationship down. Just say something like, I want to really get to know each other over a few years before thinking about anything serious. And their reaction will tell you almost everything you need to know. Narcissists can't handle delays. For them, fast attachment and quick control are top priorities. Why? Because the faster things move, the less time you have to notice the red flags. The faster you fall, the harder it becomes to tell what's real and what's performance. Most importantly, the faster the pace, the quicker they establish dominance in the relationship. They might reassure you with words like, I totally understand, take your time. But watch closely. At the same time, they'll start planning emotional anchors, suggesting you meet their parents, planning long vacations together, hinting that we were meant to be. Sounds sweet? Don't be fooled. These aren't signs of deep love. They're pressure tactics, designed to pull you in deeper before you're ready, before you can question what's really happening. Here's the truth. A narcissist doesn't care how you feel. They care that you say yes. That yes isn't just consent. It's a signal, a sign that you've started to depend on them emotionally. And once they have that hold, they control the narrative. And if you resist, they'll guilt trip you with lines like, don't you love me? I've done everything for you. This is the moment you need to be crystal clear. Don't let romantic words blur your vision. A person who truly loves you will respect your pace, your boundaries, your comfort. Only someone who's after control rushes love, like it's a race to the finish line. Nothing unsettles a narcissist more than you setting a boundary. To them, boundaries are a threat, a direct challenge to their control. They're a reminder that you're your own person, and that doesn't fit the script they've written for you. Imagine saying, I'm not comfortable being physically intimate until there's real commitment. At first, they'll respond calmly, maybe even supportively. Of course, I totally respect that. But watch closely. Little by little, they start testing your limits. They might ask you to stay over just to cuddle, make frequent jokes about intimacy, or suddenly go cold and distant every time you say no. That is manipulation, and it's not loud or aggressive. It's slow, subtle, calculated. It's the drip-drip strategy. Every time you bend just a little, they push a little farther. And when you start feeling guilty for letting them down, you're not protecting your boundary anymore. You're managing their emotions instead. Here's the terrifying part. They make you believe you're the selfish one for having boundaries. They won't say it outright, but they'll make you feel like you're too rigid, not flexible enough, or just not that in love if you don't let them take one more step. In a healthy relationship, boundaries are honored. They are the foundation of trust. But with a narcissist, your boundaries are just obstacles to be broken down. And once you give up the first one, they'll keep going until your world revolves entirely around their needs. If you find yourself constantly explaining why you're not ready, if standing your ground starts to feel exhausting, this isn't about love anymore. This is a red flag, a big one. No one enjoys being criticized. That's human. But for a narcissist, criticism isn't just unpleasant, it's war. Even the gentlest feedback feels like a direct attack on their ego. And their reaction? It's never about listening. It's all out defense, strategic retaliation, or worse, silent warfare. Let's take a simple example. You tell them, "It hurts when you show up late all the time. I feel disrespected." A mature person might say, "I'm sorry, I'll work on that." But a narcissist, they'll snap back with, "You're always overreacting." Or worse, "After everything I've done, you can't even let the little things go?" Here's the truth. A narcissist can't distinguish between a suggestion and an insult. In their mind, they're flawless. So anyone who points out a flaw becomes the enemy. The more honest you are, the more hostile they become. Not because you're wrong, but because you dare to injure their pride. And their backlash, it comes in many forms. Passive-aggressive silence for days. Turning the tables. Well, you're no better. Emotional withdrawal. Suddenly they're cold, distant, just to make you feel guilty enough to apologize. See, a narcissist doesn't need love. They crave unquestioning admiration. And the moment you offer real feedback, no matter how small, you break the illusion. You see them, and that terrifies them. You're now in a dangerous game where every word you say can and will be twisted against you. And soon you start questioning yourself. Am I being too demanding? Maybe it is my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And that's the moment they win. Because they don't need you to change them. They just need you to stop holding up the mirror. True love doesn't make you lose yourself. It doesn't make you second-guess your voice. It never forces you to ask, "Do I even have the right to feel this way?" A narcissist doesn't come to love you. They come to use love as a tool to control your emotions, to bind you with the illusion that they are everything. And while you're trying to hold the relationship together, you don't realize what's fading away isn't the love. It's your inner voice. But here's the good news. You can spot them, and sooner than you think. All it takes is the courage to listen to yourself, to pay attention to the silent signals in your body. Every time they cross the boundaries you set, all it takes is remembering this. Someone who truly loves you will never make you feel guilty for protecting your own well-being. Use these 4 signs as your compass. If you're being rushed into the relationship, if your personal limits are constantly being tested, if you feel silenced or erased, if you're punished for speaking up, then stop trying to understand them better. They've already shown you who they are. Believe it. And if you've ever walked away from a relationship like this, know that it wasn't a failed love story. It was a victory of self-worth, because you weren't born to play a supporting role in someone else's script. You were born to write your own story, with love rooted in respect, not fear. Thank you for staying with me until the very last second of this video. If you've ever been in a relationship where you felt like you had to ask for permission just to be yourself, please know you are not alone. Leave a comment below if you've ever met someone like that. Or if you have a personal story, a moment of clarity, a time you found the strength to walk away. Share it, not to complain, but to give strength to someone else who might be lost in the same place you once were. If this message resonated with you, support the channel with a like, a share, or a subscribe. It's you and your support. That helps me keep spreading what's real, what's raw, and what heals. And never forget, you deserve love without having to lose yourself for it.